My name is David Madison, the 9th of November 2019. I was a Methodist minister for 9 years, but by the time I had finished my PhD in biblical studies, my belief in God had evaporated. I'm an ex-clergy atheist. That wasn't supposed to happen. Seminaries exist to manufacture clergy, but if you look at the Bible too carefully, too closely, too critically, all of the errors and flaws become all too obvious. In this series of Flash podcasts, Bible Blunders and Bad Theology, I will discuss a lot of them. This is episode 10. Where did Satan come from? If you ask some Christians, you'll be told that he was an angel who rebelled against God and uses his vast powers to wreak havoc in the world. So let me rephrase the question. Where did the idea of Satan come from? We should get in the habit of asking that of any religious idea. Where did it come from? For example, Jesus is the Son of God. For those who believe that, where did they get that idea? Well, obviously from parents, pastors, and priests, who in turn got it from their parents, pastors, and priests, on, back through the centuries. But who thought of it for the very first time? Once you know that, or can make a guess, then it's fair to ask, was it revelation, imagination, or hallucination? And there you're stuck. There's no way to tell. If you say, I take it on faith that it was revelation, why would you do that? All of the religions in the world rely on the same faith gimmick. But back to the idea of Satan. There's a chance that it seeped into Judaism and then Christianity from ancient Persia. A powerful demon who rebelled against God. But why did theologians come up with this idea? It's a way of protecting God, getting God off the hook for so much pain, evil, chaos, and suffering in the world. God doesn't do this stuff, the devil does. This is a way of keeping God's hands clean. But it doesn't work. It's contrived. It's phony. Why would an all-powerful, good, caring, loving God allow Satan to exist even for a minute? This is theological hogwash. It just doesn't make sense. But it doesn't have to, does it? Most followers of religions don't think critically about what they're asked to believe. So, no surprise, Satan made his way into the Bible, most famously, I suppose, in the book of Job, in which God and Satan have a bet about the righteous man Job. What God allows Job to suffer is really horrible, for the sake of a bet. It's bad theology, really bad. In Mark's Gospel, the first one to be written, Satan shows up to test Jesus after a voice from heaven had announced him as the Son of God. And the Spirit immediately drove him out into the wilderness for 40 days, tempted by Satan, and he was with the wild beasts, and the angels waited upon him. No more details given, just tempted by Satan. Matthew turns these 2 verses into 11 verses and makes it worse by saying that Jesus had a conversation with Satan. This came from Matthew's imagination. Obviously, no one was there taking notes. Why don't Christians ask, which is so important, where did the story come from? What were the sources? There is a lot of foolishness in Matthew's Gospel. I wrote an article titled, Who the Hell Hired Matthew to Write a Gospel? On the Debunking Christianity blog. You can find it through a Google search. Ancient superstitions and bad theology made their way, with ease, into the Gospels. This is a major Bible blunder.